Guys, what is going on? We are live and welcome to my Hell in a Cell 2017 results and review video. We're going to take a look and break down everything that took place on the SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view event, Hell in a Cell, which, as you all know, took place at Joe Louis. I was going to say Little Caesars Arena. Have to get it right. The new arena there in Detroit, Michigan. My overall thoughts on the show. I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed this show mainly for the two matches, the two Hell in a Cell matches that I knew going into it were going to make or break this show. This was a two-match show going in, and I felt that those two matches delivered. If you take away those two Hell in a Cell matches, wouldn't have enjoyed this show that much, if at all. Because on the undercard side of things, not really too much there to get excited about. But, you know, from the Hell in a Cell match perspective, they did deliver. And the way that the show went off the air, it certainly left me with more questions, which is good. It gives me a reason to finally actually tune into SmackDown Live. So if that's mission accomplished on WWE's part, good. You actually got me to care about watching SmackDown Live. But let's start from the bottom. We'll start with the kickoff show, and then we'll work our way to the top. Did not watch the kickoff show, but I'll give you the results right here. We have Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Hype Bros. The winners, no surprise here, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Gable's able to dive off the top rope, hit the clothesline after Shelton Benjamin put Zack Ryder in a powerbomb position. So it looks like that the Hype Bros are going to be splitting up sometime in the near future. It's been teased for a while now. Surprised it did not happen on this show. I thought maybe there would be a possibility of that happening, but nothing did happen. So, and if I had to pick who's going to turn heel in that scenario, I was thinking about it more and more. How it would make more sense for Mojo Rawley to be the one that turns heel. Because Mojo, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but honestly, since then, what has he done? He's actually done absolutely nothing. So, and Zack Ryder, you know, I think he's coming more towards the end of his career with WWE than it is the beginning. So if you want to give it to the guy who potentially could have the more upside, we don't know how Mojo would do as a heel. So why not give it a shot? What have you got to lose? So I'm predicting that Mojo Rawley will turn heel on Zack Ryder. When that happens, perhaps it'll be on SmackDown or down the line. Like I said, I thought it would happen here on this show, but they just keep losing and losing and losing. So it would only make sense for somebody to become frustrated, and they snap. So let's get into the actual card. And I love how this show kicked off. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match inside Hell in a Cell. The New Day defending their titles versus the Usos. And it was Big E and Xavier Woods who represented the New Day in this match. Really great stuff. Some really innovative stuff in this match. These two teams, like I said, as I continue to say, they bring out the best in each other. They've had some tremendous tag team matches, and I have yet to see these two teams go in there and just have a match that is boring or bad or you just don't care about, because I don't think it's possible for these two teams to do that. And when they said that they were going to have this match inside Hell in a Cell, that is something that I wanted to see. It's just the natural culmination of this feud. You know, they've had street fights. They've had singles matches. You know, they battled up and down on the card. It was nice to see these two teams actually be on the main card and not relegated to the pre-show, but the effort and creativity level from all four of these guys was certainly there. Whether it was Big E doing his dive, his dangerous spear dive through the ropes. I swear one day he's gonna hurt himself doing that, but it worked tonight. Whether it was the use of the kendo sticks, which I thought were very well used in this match, when Xavier Woods literally barricaded, I want to say it was Jimmy Uso, onto literally trapped him on the side of the Hell in a Cell by literally putting the kendo sticks through the cell itself. It was a really cool visual to see something like that. I've never seen anything like that before. They brought out trombones. They used cymbals. So it was a little goofy early on, but as the match progressed, it got more and more serious. Just a lot of creativity with the kendo sticks. Like I said, I really thought that was the highlight of the match for me. Of course, we need more cowbell, so they actually used the cowbell in this match, so that was nice to see. Like I said, a lot of stuff you usually don't see happen, and I thought these two teams really came up with a lot of creative stuff in this match. The handcuffs came into play. They handcuffed Xavier Woods. They put both of his arms behind the ring post, and then both Jimmy and Jey proceeded to berate the hell out of Xavier Woods with kendo stick shot after kendo stick shot. That was a really nice spot right there. You could tell that probably hurt just a bit. And then they tried to handcuff Big E. He fought out of it. He kept trying to fight out of it, and Usos hit a dual splash on Big E. And Xavier Woods, handcuffed and all, he got back in there. He started headbutting, started hitting the Usos with the handcuffs. He tried his damnedest, but it simply was not good enough. The Usos were able to pretty much beat the shit out of Xavier Woods, and they hit him with some more kendo stick shots, take a steel chair, hit the double Us for the win, and regain the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. So bravo to all four teams involved, or all four guys, I should say, involved. This was an outstanding Hell in a Cell match, and my pick, easily, for match of the night. And then from there, like I said, the show kind of continued on. There was some good stuff in the middle portion of the show, but like I said, it was really these two Cell matches that were the reason that I was watching the show. We had Randy Orton versus Rusev. Kind of a slow match, but I actually did enjoy this match. I thought it was a solid enough effort. Really no surprise here, seeing the fact that Rusev lost to Randy Orton. Although the way that they set up Randy Orton hitting the RKO in this match, I'd have to say was pretty innovative. Match, Rusev locks in the Accolade. Randy Orton is able to roll to the outside. Rusev attempts to go for a splash. Orton hits his DDT off the ring apron. And as he's calling for the RKO, that's where Rusev tries to lock Randy Orton in to the Accolade again, and then Orton is able to reverse out of that, hit the RKO out of nowhere for the win. So that was a really cool spot towards the end. Orton wins. Rusev loses. What can I say? This feud really hasn't been doing it for me. It's just been kind of there. It's just two guys who would really have had nothing going on. They just decided, we're going to have you two feud. Seems like Randy Orton has that happen a lot. To me, this kind of reminds me of the Randy Orton and Sheamus feud, which never seemed to end in 2015. I don't remember why they were feuding, but it just kept going on and on and on and on and on. Hopefully these two move on to other opponents, and hopefully Randy Orton moves on to a heel turn, because I know he himself was actually saying, I need to turn heel, and I agree, because him as a babyface, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's just boring and bland, and I don't know. Just never really a fan of Randy Orton as a babyface. He is a natural heel. That's just who he is. You know, it's like The Miz. Perfect example. Miz, when he was a babyface, just didn't do it for me. You couldn't buy into it. It just didn't seem natural or believable. Miz is a heel. He's on fire. So what more can you say? But I enjoyed this match more than I actually thought I would going into it, so that's saying a lot. And then we have what originally was scheduled to be AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. But thank God that they pulled their heads out of their asses and decided to make this a triple threat match like it should have been, due to the fact that Ty Dillinger pinned Baron Corbin, the #1 contender, on SmackDown. So Dillinger goes up to Daniel Bryan and says, well, this should be a triple threat match now. And Bryan agrees, which I'm glad they brought up. Thank you for using logic and continuity. I really appreciate it when you do that. It just makes things a whole lot easier to watch. And this, I'd have to say, it started off slow, especially parts with Baron Corbin and they're dominating Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles. But it picked up nicely, I'd have to say, towards the end, with all guys, going at it against one another. Whether it was, AJ Styles, going in there and blasting Baron Corbin, or, there were some nice near-fall spots in here with Ty Dillinger. I thought, maybe Ty might get the upset win here. But to my surprise, I guess I was a little bit surprised by this. I didn't think AJ Styles was going to drop the United States Championship here, but maybe that's a good thing, because he did. He And I did like how the finish of this match went down because it just made Baron Corbin look like a sneaky, dirty heel, as he should be. So AJ Styles hits the phenomenal forearm on Ty Dillinger. And as AJ is going for the cover, Baron Corbin pulls him out of the ring. That is AJ. And he threw him hard to the floor. I hope AJ is all right. Earlier in the match, AJ got whipped into the barricade there, so I hope his shoulder is doing all right. And he steals the pin from AJ Styles and pins Ty Dillinger, and Baron Corbin is your new United States champion. Don't have a problem with this, like I said. Hopefully it moves AJ on to bigger and better things, namely, I'd like to see him go after that WWE Championship. Please, Styles, save us. And Corbin, I think, as a United States champion is the perfect role for him. If you're looking for a way to rehabilitate him after losing Money in the Bank and losing to John Cena, give him the United States Championship. See how he does there. I don't have a problem with that at all. And the fact that the way he won made sense because he's a heel. Heels should have to cheat to win. So the way that this was executed, I didn't have a problem with. I thought it, like I said, it started off slow in terms of a triple threat, but it picked up nicely towards the end, like I said, with all three guys going at it. So I enjoyed this. This was definitely probably my favorite match on the undercard. And then we go to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Natalya versus Charlotte. I liked the match the first time I watched it. And then when I thought about it again, I don't know. To me, it was just okay. Like I said, I don't know. Well, the finish itself, we'll talk about that later. But it was just okay. I've seen these two have better matches. I believe this came nowhere close to their match that they had at NXT TakeOver. That was the best match that they had to date. I mean, they gave them time. Charlotte and Natalya, they battled back and forth. Natalya tried to lock in the sharpshooter, on Charlotte, but she kept countering out of it, I should say. And eventually, Charlotte attempts to lock in the figure eight, but Natalya sent Charlotte outside the ring. And eventually, they get back in the ring. Natalya she successfully locks in the sharpshooter again. Charlotte is able to roll through, and Natalya goes headfirst into the turnbuckle. Charlotte tries to go for the moonsault up on the top rope, but Natalya rolls out of the ring, and Charlotte hits the moonsault onto Natalya on the outside of the ring on the floor, and Natalya grabs a chair and gets disqualified for using it on Charlotte. So not too much of a fan of the finish, not too much of a fan of DQ finishes on pay-per-view, but if they're going to delay Charlotte winning the championship for down the line, perhaps at Starrcade. Although it's weird, that is not televised yet. That is just a house show. I would think that would be on the network. I would be shocked if that wasn't on the network. But, so if they want to have Charlotte win there, you should televise that. That would be a nice moment. Starrcade, WCW pay-per-view creation by the late American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Ric Flair. Many great memories there. Many great matches at Starrcade during his time with WCW. So, if you're going to hold off on Charlotte winning the championship there, I understand. Finish, like I said, I was just like, oh, okay, that's it. Didn't really do too much for me, but the match itself was okay. I heard people were saying that Charlotte might have hurt her leg. I hope she's not hurt. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, but that was just me. Maybe I wasn't really paying that much attention to it. But yeah, it was just an okay match here. We then go to the return of the Fashion Files. Didn't really find this one too much funny. Frankly, it just set up them looking at a new case. And they literally opened a new case. And tune in next week for the Fashion Files. It was nice to see Breeze Dongo, because apparently they haven't been on SmackDown Live for the past couple of weeks. Don't know what's going on there, but there you have it. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. Now, I'll be honest. I watched this pay-per-view on a delay. And when I heard what happened, I skipped over this match. I can't tell you if it was a good match or a bad match, but I'll tell you the results, because I want to be honest with you guys. I don't want to say I enjoyed this, but because I can't. How am I going to know if I didn't watch it? But What I was surprised to see, I did see the finish, was that Jinder Mahal, as Nakamura got back in the ring, attempted to go for a Kinshasa attempt. Mahal hit him with his finisher, and he pinned him. 1, 2, 3. So Shinsuke Nakamura lost clean. Jinder Mahal is still WWE champion, and probably will be until their tour in India in December. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I don't care. I'm sorry. Jinder Mahal is WWE champion. It just doesn't do anything for me. Now, if you enjoy him as champion, more power to you. That's great. I just don't see anything that flies off the page with Jinder's WWE Championship reign. I think it's just been boring, lackluster, way too long of a reign, and the dialogue they've been having him say over the past couple of weeks with these Nakamura promos has just been worse and worse and worse. This feud between Mahal and Nakamura hasn't done Jinder any favors, and it hasn't done Nakamura any favors. So the feud, to me, was a bust. Nakamura loses. We'll see what they do with him from here, but Mahal continues on as WWE champion. Not really much else I can say about that, except I was hoping Nakamura would win here, but then again, when I heard the stuff about the tour in India, I really wasn't surprised. We have Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. Just a match. It was just there. It wasn't glorious. It was just average. Bobby Roode won. That was nice. Crowd, I don't know if they were fatigued from Jinder winning, or, if that match was lackluster before it and then it affected this match. But I think even if the crowd was into it, I don't know, there's just really nothing to this match for me. It was just there. I mean, I'm happy to see Bobby Roode got the win, as he should. Shouldn't be losing to Dolph Ziggler. Although it was weird. Bobby Roode is booked as a babyface, and you have him cheat to win. I found that interesting. And Ziggler laid him out afterwards with the zigzag, so it looks like this feud is continuing. So I guess we'll see where they go with that. I don't really have too much to say about this match. It was a match. And the right guy won, but it was just there. So let's move on to the final match. The main event of this show. The reason I was watching this show. Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. Stupid stipulation of falls count anywhere, although it did play into the finish later. So I see why they did it, but still. In a Hell in a Cell match. I thought initially, match started off slow. Shane and Owens fought before they even got inside the cell. They fought around the cell, and then eventually they got inside of it. And these two brawled back and forth. I like the fact that Kevin Owens got right up in Shane McMahon's kids' faces and said, well, this is what you think of your daddy now. I love when Kevin Owens trash talks in the matches, during the matches. And just seeing the look on Shane's kids' faces, that was a good spot right there. Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon actually early on tried to hit a shooting star press, which was pretty impressive seeing that. He pulled that one out at WrestleMania 33 this year. Of course, Kevin Owens got out of the way, and Owens sent Shane McMahon into the ropes for the pop-up powerbomb, but Shane was able to lock in a triangle submission on Kevin Owens. So I actually thought that was a really innovative spot right there. He got Shane up, and then Shane locked in the submission move on Kevin Owens. And Owens had to escape, and he picked up Shane and powerbombed him onto the steel steps. Another nice spot there as we continue on in this match here. Owens pulled a table up. He tried to hit a cannonball from the apron, off the apron, onto the table as he laid Shane out there. Shane moved out of the way. Owens goes crashing through. And then Shane, I like the fact that he picked up the broken pieces of the table and hit Kevin Owens in the back with it. I thought, oh, okay, you got these broken pieces of plywood sitting here. You might as well use the table. I mean, anything goes inside Hell in a Cell. And then Shane, of course, he sets up the trash can. He's going for the coast to coast. Successfully hits that on to Kevin Owens. And then you see Shane looking up. He's looking up, and you know that Shane McMahon is going to climb to the top of that cell. Eventually gets bolt cutters, takes him some time to open the padlock on the Hell in a Cell, but Shane does continue to climb. He climbs all the way to the top. Kevin Owens climbs up to the top, and the visual of Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens battling inside Hell in a Cell, I have to say, was very cool, very nerve-wracking. I didn't think that cell, the roof of the cell was going to break, but, you never know what could happen. I'm sure it's reinforced much more so than the Hell in a Cell that Mankind and The Undertaker battled in 1998. But every time, they slammed each other or fell on top of that roof, part of me cringed a little bit. I'm like, please don't break. Please don't have the roof break. I don't want to see anybody die tonight. And when Owens hit that pop-up powerbomb on top of the cell, that's the part where I was like, oh, okay. Cell didn't break. Roof didn't break. We're good here. And Owens tries to climb down off the side of the cell, and the announcer's table was already cleared off from earlier. They didn't really do anything with the Spanish announcer's table. And Shane is able to knock Kevin Owens off the cell. Fell a good 10 feet, I'd have to say, through the announcer's table. And, Shane comes back down, and he's thinking, I have Kevin Owens laid out. Why don't I go for the pin here? But then he thinks about something. He headbutts Owens, lays him out on another table, and climbs back up to the top of the rope. Or top of the cell, excuse me. And here we go, WrestleMania 32 all over again. And I'm thinking, Shane, don't do this. Shane, don't do this. You have a family to think about. You have kids. Your kids are sitting at the front row. Shane McMahon, do not jump off Hell in a Cell. And before our eyes, Shane McMahon goes flying and crash and burns, and Kevin Owens is pulled out of the way. I didn't notice Kevin Owens being pulled out of the way until Shane came crashing down. They showed the replay. I have to say, I thought that it was incredible. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Kevin Owens. Thank you, New Day and Usos, by the way, for all the risks and bumps you took tonight for our enjoyment. Like I said, they really went, all out. And when Shane came through that table, I have to say, I thought the landing at WrestleMania 32 looked better than this one. Looked like a rough landing, even with, the airbag and whatever they had set up underneath the announcer's table. But to my surprise, Sami Zayn, they showed it on the replay, pulled Kevin Owens out of the way and put him on top of Shane McMahon for the 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn helped Kevin Owens defeat Shane McMahon outside of Hell in a Cell. Really surprised. Where we go from here? Is it a full-blown heel turn? We'll have to see. I would assume it would be, but I really like that ending. Like I said, Sami Zayn, he's just been going nowhere. Honestly, ever since the feud with Kevin Owens, ironically enough, ended last year when he got that big win at Battleground, it's just been all downhill for Sami. Then he gets drafted to SmackDown. They don't really know what to do with him. So, you know what? I prefer him as babyface, but if that's not going to work, you want to try something different, you turn him heel. Let's see what happens. So, this was definitely my second favorite match of the night, but match of the night for me goes to the New Day and the Usos, who tore it up inside Hell in a Cell. Like I said, this was a 2-match show. Enjoyed the triple threat for the United States Championship. Randy Orton, Rusev, that wasn't bad. Everything else was just kind of there. If I had to give a grade for this pay-per-view, I'm going with a B-. Enjoyable show. Like I said, if you really want to just watch 2 matches, watch both Hell in a Cell matches. They certainly lived up to expectations. So that is it, guys, for my live Hell in a Cell 2017 review. Immediately after this review is posted, be sure to leave your comments and thoughts down below in the comments section for what you thought of Hell in a Cell. What did you like? What didn't you like? So once again, guys, thank you for watching this pay-per-view review. Remember to click my like and subscribe button here on youtube.com/DanielGuys latest thoughts. Follow me on Twitter at DanielGuys412 for all my latest tweets. So until then, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys down the line.